Real Housewives of Potomac, the trailer has dropped on a scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you, Alyssa?
I'll say an 8
An 8?
because I feel like the previous seasons we've had such strong storylines. And I'm not sure if this trailer is all smoke and mirrors. It was very stylized. I feel like we weren't getting a lot of concrete information. I'm always wary of trailers that either have all the good jokes in them, and then I'm like, well, there's probably nothing left in the movie, or don't really seem to make a lot of sense. And they're like, you'll see. And it's like, well, we see because you might have nothing. But I do love Potomac. I think it's one of the best franchises on TV right now. So I have high hopes for especially how fucked up Michael Darby is as a person.
Oh my God. Michael Darby is what keeps me up at night because he's the monster in my closet.
Yeah.
And we're all just waiting for him to come out. Taylor, how are you feeling about it?
I am always more excited about trailers than Alyssa is because she is smarter than me and they just get me so riled up. Speaking of the second season test, I think we're going to see that with Wendy, and I think she's going to deliver. I think that they've already shared so much about their home and their family, and I think if they're being like put to certain tests and they're opening up to the audience about that, I want to see it. I'm here for it. I do question where the Darby drama has gotten so big and gone so far. Like, what stone has not been turned in that we're finding him in bed with other women. We have pictures of him in his underwear. He's going to strip clubs. He's still somehow having a bunch of babies. He is grabbing butts and dicks left and right. So there's a little bit of, I fear, kind of like what Alyssa was saying, that there's going to be some steam lost. And then in this particular instance, I'm worried it'll just leave me sad. If there is less of a shock factor and less like actual crazy events, and I'm just going to be a fly on the wall for Ashley's second pregnancy with this scary monster in and I think all of our closets, it will maybe just be a bummer, but hopefully not.
Well, we didn't really see Ashley in the trailer. All we got were her reaction faces that we get every season that like we didn't really see much of a storyline other than she has another baby.
I mean,
and she's crying in a selfie video. She's like, this is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, what part? So that, again, because I love trailers.
I feel like she said that she can't imagine herself having sex. And so I don't know. There's something interesting about how she gave him a pass last season because they had sort of a semi-open relationship, it seems, and she has really put her foot down and drawn a line in the sand. And I am rooting for her to get to a breaking point and leave him. And that's like the main reason I'm still watching Potomac, because I actually really like her very much as a housewife. I think she's excellent on the show. And I feel so sad for her because she has a very difficult relationship with her dad. I can identify with that. I think it bleeds into your love life. And there's a lot of psychiatry behind that. And so I feel for her and I want her to stand up for herself, even though she had 2 kids with this guy. She can have a better life without him. That's how I feel.
Yeah, she doesn't need Michael. Nobody needs Michael Darby. Like, he can go and like jerk off to Juan Dixon in the corner by himself and be done with that. Yeah. Like, I'm good. I can live without not having to see another scene with Michael Darby ever again. Like, Ashley would be a great single housewife. Without a man, she would have her babies and she would still bring so much to the show. I'm excited to see Gizelle finally get put in the hot seat. Like, I want to see her get grilled by somebody like Wendy that's really just going to lay into her and be like, you're a snake, you spread rumors, you like to gossip, and now it's time that you get the reckoning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she has one of the more polished like presentational sort of vibes on that show, at least in the latest seasons, and also has that sort of like Lisa Rinna pot stirrer vibe going on. And I agree, I think it would be very nice to get her put in the hot seat, especially with this crazy ass relationship. Like, my God, if you really do want to be the person with like the perfect life, and you like do not get back together with the fucking church leader sex addict guy, like, and you can't do that and think it's not going to be a major part of the show.
Were you heartbroken to see that they finally announced that they've split? Like, were you expecting this to go the long haul?
No, I was so happy. It made me so happy. But I'm like, you're not going to come to me and say that it was like a really wonderful, we came to this decision together and everything is good and everything is peaceful. Like she makes a big effort to make things seem good, and they couldn't possibly be. Like, you got to be real about this. I think she's one of the funniest housewives. I love her presence on the show, but I agree with you that I think she is not sharing as much honestly as some of her castmates are.
Are you excited for Mia?
Yes.
We learned so much more about Mia in that trailer than we've learned about Ebony in the past 4 or 5 episodes we've gotten on New York so far. I'm like, what is going, like, how did they give us her entire backstory? So coming into episode 1, we know who this is and we're ready to play. And yet we're still, like, I'm still trying to figure out who Ebony is and where she came from and like what she's really going to bring to the show.
I feel like Ebony's being treated like the racism fairy godmother a little bit, where she's like, hi, I'm here, Ramona Singer, to make you feel okay about your problematic comments. And like, I hope we can just push past that and actually get into her life and get a storyline actually going for her that doesn't have to do with that. And same for Crystal. It's like, we talked about this on our pod too, where it's like, I'm glad Bravo's, making this more diverse, but at the same time, it can't just be so they get a pat on the back and like some woman of color is here to tell all these rich white women why they're problematic. Like, that's not fair to them.
Exactly.
It's not fair to anyone. It's not fair to the audience because the audience isn't that dumb.
Yeah.